All right, welcome to the show. Now joining me in studio, this guy came from the real estate business, successful there. He has one heck of a story that has now led him to writing books and being a consultant for other entrepreneurs and business professionals. Steve Rodgers joins us in studio. Good to have you on here, man.
Hey, Craig, good to be here as always. Thank you.
Yeah, so is this the first time we had you on the show? I know you've been on the Silver Hair Tsunami.
I've been in your studio many times, but I think this is the first time I've sat at your desk, actually.
Well, you know, it's a process to get in here. No, but you...
I'm finally at the big table, like on Thanksgiving with the kids. You're probably at the big table. You know?
It's exciting, isn't it?
Yeah.
So, you know, it's good to have you in here. You know, I've known you for many years. You had a very successful run in the real estate business. You still have some things you do there. But now you've advanced to doing some other things, which are much more business coaching. You've written your book, which we'll get to here in a moment.
Yeah, sure.
I'd love for you to share your story. It's a good one.
Oh, thanks. Well, I've been in the real estate business for 25 years. Started in sales, went from sales to management, and landed in a company called Prudential California Realty in 1994, which many people might have heard of. It was one of the largest in the United States. But when I joined that company, we had around probably 10 or 12 offices, and it was owned by a guy named Steve Games and a lady named Nida, and they were just really phenomenal entrepreneurs and still are. But we grew that company over a 10-year period to 105 offices, around 5,000 salespeople. We were doing around $25 billion a year in sales volume. We were doing around 38,000 transactions a year. So it was a great run. So I went from being in a small company to help being part of that. So I grew from being a manager, and then I eventually became the CEO of that company. So I rose through the food chain, as they say, and I became the CEO. And then we got bought by Warren Buffett in 2001. So I worked under the Warren Buffett home service companies for about 7 years and was in that whole process of learning to go from entrepreneur to corporate America to Sarbanes-Oxley and regulated stuff. And meeting Warren Buffett was definitely a highlight of my career. So that was a great corporate run until it wasn't. And then the wasn't is part of what the book's about as well. So
the book is From Lead to Gold.
Yeah, From Lead to Gold.
So now let's explain. So that's, you know, your path through real estate. But now your passion is more in coaching others, lifting other people up. You have a pretty empowering story of your own. So explain kind of where your passion is now. And what you're doing.
Well, thank you for that. Well, I went from corporate America actually in a forced transition. I'd been at that company for 15 years. You probably remember the real estate market in 2008.
Yeah, I was doing really well.
It was like, boom, brick upside the head.
Yeah.
So as much as I was involved in helping grow that company and make it, help it grow with a huge team, of course, but we ended up consolidating and closing. So we closed like half of our company in a year and a half. And then I got downsized and pushed out. So after 15
you had some
years,
struggles.
Yeah, so I got fired. And then I started my own company. I started my own real estate company and ran that for 5 years. But then I decided that I was not as passionate as I wanted to be about real estate in the way it used to run. And I was having some challenges with my franchisor and business struggles internally. And I thought, I can either keep hitting myself up against the wall or I can take a whole different path. So I decided to break away from the real estate industry as I'd been in it and started a consulting company. It's called Alchemy Advisors, and it came with the premise of a couple reasons. I love the book The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho. And it's just a great parable of life story. I love the word alchemy, which represents transition and transformation. And in the story, it talks about the alchemist who used to turn lead into gold, taking something of value and turning it into even more value, which is gold. So the book is about transformation. It's about transition.
So that is your book, From Lead to Gold.
From Lead to Gold,
So you just wrote this. I've seen some of the social media posts. Looks like it's off to a good run.
Yeah, thank you. We had #1 Amazon bestseller status, and that was fun, and we continue to sell great books and great progress on that. And what the goal was to help other people that might be transitioning in any areas of their life, whether it's from corporate America to become an entrepreneur, whether it's going from something their one relationship to another, whether it's health challenges. You know, we all have struggles in our life. We all have challenges. We all have transitions, and they're either forced or chosen. And it's just never going to not be that way. So how do you embrace that and make that your friend? And I talk in the book about processes and steps about embracing change and turning your life into what you really want it to be.
What's a good way to embrace change?
The best way is to realize, #1, what you want your life to be. You know, we have our life of what it is, and then we have this dream about where we want it to be, and there's this gap in the middle. And the gap is where there's stress. The gap is where there's discomfort. And the gap is where I call the hole in the soul. You know, we all have this hole in the soul that we don't quite feel as fulfilled as we want to be. So the goal is to then map out a life plan and a business plan that starts helping you get there. Not just a business plan, but a life plan. I'm talking about spirituality, fitness, relationships, and designing your entire life that you want, and then having someone help you get to that point.
So what would be, so I mean, you just listed off a few things. When you say that there's a gap, there's a variety of ways that you can have a gap. You could love your job, but maybe having challenges in your relationship, or maybe you love your relationship, but you're having challenges spiritually, or, or with your health.
Right.
So you take a holistic approach to all of this.
Very much so. And I have something that I do for myself, which is a daily scorecard, and it's my life scorecard. And I score 4 areas of my life on a daily basis, and I get 1 point for each one. I have body, being, bonds, and business. And my body is to make sure I'm on my vegan eating plan that I'm on a daily basis. I've been for a year and a half. For a year and a half, I would have never thought it.
How is it?
It's excellent. My energy's through the roof, my clarity, my thought. I would have never expected is what it is, but it's phenomenal. So I have to get a half a point for eating vegan and a half a point for working out my body every day. So that's 1 point. Then for my bonds, I have to work on relationships within my family and my immediate family, and I have to do something outside of my family in the world. So I get half a point, 1 point. My business, I have to work on my business and in my business. I get a point for that. And then, so there's body, beings, bonds, and business. And then I get another half a point in, so my relationships, my body, my business, and my spirituality, where I have to meditate daily and do something of spiritual practice, and then I have to do something of spiritual action in the world. And I'm just trying to get to 4 points a day. And if I do that, then I'm getting to 28 points in a week. I have the scorecard that I use to see if I'm on track. And it keeps me focused every day on my goals of what I'm trying to do in those areas of my life.
The last one, meditation. How important is that one?
To me, that's crucial. My most important thing is outside of myself. My higher power and my higher purpose in my life is the energy and the fuel in which I tap into the rest of the things that I do. So to me, meditation is like going to Starbucks and tapping into Wi-Fi. You know, I don't know how Wi-Fi works, but it works.
Right.
And I know I've got a signal stronger than if I had no Wi-Fi. So for me, meditation is my link to tapping into source to get more energy, more clarity, more thought, and really keeps me balanced and centered in my life.
So everything that you're doing, the coaching that you're doing, the book, it's about a holistic approach just to getting the most out of your life, even measuring it with things as simple as a scorecard with a 1 point score on a daily basis. Steve Rodgers, From Lead to Gold. Hope you can pick this up. I'm sure people can go online, check out
on Amazon, absolutely. And the Audible book comes out this next month, so they can get it on Amazon. And the book, basically, if you're looking to increase anything in productivity, profit, or purpose. And purpose is my big motivator, but everyone wants productivity and profit. But if you don't have purpose, then all the rest of that's kind of meaningless.
Awesome. Steve Rodgers, thanks for coming on the show.
Hey, Craig,
Appreciate
appreciate it.
The moving story. All right, now.